Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and today is a very special day. Today is the day of Izuku's birthday, and also Mirio's and Ichigo's birthday too, but they're secondary right now. Right now, we need to focus on our green cinnamon roll. If you guys remember, I had made basically tons of posts about me making a story like this. Basically an MHA One Piece crossover, but Izuku's entire crew would be composed of those of the Deku squad, and those who would possibly join the Deku squad as well. Not to mention, he won't be a pirate. However, this is not the true official chapter. This is basically a origin chapter, actually, on that of the creation of Izuku Midoriya, and who his parents are going to be, actually. But as for now, this is the hero of the new world. Also, a little bit of a heads up, this will be a quick chapter. I won't be going into too much detail, just the origin of Izuku's parents, and how certain things in the story play out as well. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Origins. The son of the wildfire, Wano, the king, one of the most prestigious, most iconic, and one of the most powerful kingdoms in the New World. One enriched with that of tradition, honor, and loyalty. But why wouldn't it be, as its shogunate was the former second in command to the Whitebeard Pirates and member of the Gold Pirates as well. His name, Kazuki Oden. Well, emphasis on was. Oden was a man who fought and basically died for his people and for his retainers, against that of the treacherous Orochi and the formidable and powerful Kaido, captain of the Beast Pirates and emperor of the seas, and Inko, especially during his earlier years when he was a member of the Rocks Pirates. Oden was no match for this Inko. However, Oden's death would still basically ling a spark for those of that of his retainers, and even for somebody that wouldn't even expect it. His Kaido's daughter, Yamato. But this isn't about them. It's about that of Kaido's first mate, his first crew member, a tall, powerful, fearful, and somewhat surprisingly gentle man by the name of King the Wildfire. Especially given that several members of the Beast Pirates are basically Oni. King, on the other hand, is a Lunarian, one of the ancient races that have gone extinct. The race that's said to rule the red line of the world, before being hunted down by that of the world government and the celestial dragons, the so-called rulers of this world. Well, not really, but still. King is the only one left of his race, or as so it's said to be. But King doesn't really care. He follows Kaido's orders to the letter, acts as that of his right-hand man, and always looks out for him and his crew. Even with the Beast Pirates can be quite, well, a rowdy and basically manipulative bunch of pirates, it's the one crew that he calls family and a home, especially on the island that they located as their headquarters, Origashima. And ever since taking Wano and making it their very own kingdom, after all. Sure, they've had a few samurai try to rise up and avenge Oden here and there, but they always be put down like the dogs that they are in the eyes of the Beast Pirates. However, there are some people from Wano who are willing to join the Beast Pirates of their own free will, mainly as a way to gain more power, mainly to keep them safe from protection and not be affected by that of the Beast Pirates basically running the Eastern nation now, even though Orochi's nothing but just a figurehead, not a real shogun. However, some that either joined mainly because they had no other choice but to protect their family this way, or gain money in one way or another. This is how A wino woman who basically wanted nothing but just to find a way to keep herself and her family safe one way or another by becoming a beast pirate. This woman would be known as Inko. A kind, caring, and loving woman, actually. Timid and shy and always scared out of her mind, out of everything. How would a woman like this basically fit in that of the Beast Pirates, especially the Beast Pirates, one of the most aggressive, wild, chaotic, and basically brutal pirates known to that of the four seas and the Grand Line New World. Ironically, pretty damn well if she's basically nothing but just a grunt and basically a dime a dozen crowd pirate. Hell, she was never even noticed by that of the Flying Six either, and that of their crews as well. To Inko, she was just a face in the crowd, only here for basically the money to protect that of her family. She never wanted to be a pirate. Hell, she never wanted anything. She never even wanted to do anything violent to people. She always saw it as unnecessary, but it was basically what her parents decided for her. Given that she's beautiful, young, and capable of basically handling stuff like this. And let's just say when it comes to being a pirate, especially when a majority of the crew basically being males, well, she did get a few looks here and there. Nothing bad happened yet, but still, it's only been a year since she became a beast pirate. Until one day, everything changed. She was told to bring a package to that of King's office. When she heard that, she literally was terrified for her life, as she's seen King before, black leathered wearing Lunarian, who never took off his mask one bit, only a few times, but barely anybody seen his face. Not to mention his flames always menaced. For some reason, she couldn't help but feel attracted to that of his flames, though. Everything else about him was terrifying, but other than that of his fire. But even so, she was given an order and she had to follow it, no matter to the letter. Soon there, she goes on that of one hell of a journey to basically just take a single large package to that of King's office on basically the toppest peak of Origashima as well. And let's just say it's one heck of a journey. Knocking on that of the large door, trying to get King's attention. However, no answer. She does it several other more times. Not as she was just about to just leave it on to that of the in front of King's door in front of his office, but deciding not to, as who knows on what would happen to her if she basically just did something like that. Soon after, she just goes in, seeing that King isn't around. However, noticing that the place is completely and utterly a mess. Papers everywhere, bounty posters everywhere as well, alongside that of many of the schedules for all the pirate crews that are part of the Beast Pirates. Completely just a mess. But then she couldn't help but think, I can't believe it. How he's able to find things or even do things orderly here at all. As she puts that of the package crates down before then deciding to order everything, deciding to just do everything, clean everything up herself. Order, keep things in check. Remember about that of certain members of each crew after all. Even though the place was massive and huge, Inko is still able to basically try and order things as much as she could. Even places where they were hard to reach, she just made sure to just put them in a pile and see if King would sort them out himself or not. Well, basically in the middle of this, that's when a certain someone arrived back at his office, as this being King himself. Within noticing Inko or organizing everything, within finally noticing her saying, care to explain on what you're doing? Within hearing that voice, that calm but also somewhat terrifying voice, as seeing that of the black wearing black wing flames of King himself. Within, she getting a little bit nervous and actually quite timid and shy. Before then, soon, she's saying, Lord King, sorry, you see, I was told to bring some packages for you, and I saw your office, and within, soon King noticing that of his office, seeing everything a lot more filed, organized, everything a lot more perfectly filed, and alphabetized as well, as he's been wanting to clean up this place for basically years now. However, he hasn't had the time and the patience to do so. When being the right-hand man and first mate of an Inko, this is the kind of thing that would happen, of course. Within, sighing, saying, care to explain on who you are? Seeing that you are a beast pirate, but you don't have the personality or basically the look of one. Within, as he kneels down, seeing that of Inko up close, saying, you seem way too kind-hearted to basically be a beast pirate. Within, she's saying, actually, I've been a beast pirate for a year, Lord King. My name is Inko. I'm normally just fetching girl, actually. I normally just take things off of ships when we gain new supplies and everything, or where the Flying Six basically go on their escapades after all. Within hearing all that, King saying, yeah, that makes more sense now. We did get a lot of people from Wano who only came here just for safety and protection after all. Within, soon, Inko saying, is that a bad thing? Within, King sighing, saying, no, it's not. You all have your reasonings for basically becoming beast pirates, selling your honor and loyalty to Wano when it comes to just protecting people. Within, Inko couldn't help but look down, saying, personally, I don't know if it's even worth it or not. Within, hearing that, King saying, oh, care to explain? Within, she's saying, I'm not saying I'm disrespectful or anything. I'm truly grateful for the Beast Pirates offering. Before basically pressing her fingers together over and over again, saying, I just don't know if I'm cut out to be a pirate, or if I'm capable of doing horrible things. Within, hearing that, King couldn't help but sigh, saying, if you know this, and yet you still became a beast pirate either way, you're aware on what we do as pirates, not to mention on what Lord Kato does himself as well. The man barely has any mercy as it is, outside of those who he believes have talent. Within hearing all that, she cut up a look down, saying, I am aware, saying, and yet you still became a beast pirate. Why? Within saying, for my family, actually. Within hearing that, saying, my mother and father, they're both sickly and they don't have much left. We're poor, but when the beast pirates were offering anybody from Wano to join their crew, as long as they basically denounced their loyalty to Wano, my father and mother basically suggested I do so, with no hesitation whatsoever. Within hearing that, King couldn't help but be shocked, saying, to throw away their own daughter just for them to gain more money. Surely, even with that, a sick of parents should care. It's not like I know who my parents are either, so I haven't had any right to judge, but still. Within saying, if you're worried about joining any pirate crews, I doubt that they would want you. You're not really seem like the fighting type, outside of a few crews that would probably use you for, specific reasons, given your beauty and all. Within hearing that, Inko both couldn't help but blush and also feel somewhat terrified as well, as the blood basically drains from her face, but still surprisingly blushing from King's compliment. Then saying, thank you. Within saying, if it makes you feel better, and if you don't want to join a crew, then you can be my secretary. Within hearing that, Inko was completely shocked, saying, what did you say? Secretary? Within saying, yes, you ordered this place pretty easily and you didn't even need to, or even need to be asked. You just done it. I barely even come here to organize this place as it is. So I figured you would be perfect for this. It also keeps you safe. So any crew that tries to lay their hands on you or tries to take you will have to answer to me. And I'm pretty sure in their crew does not want to mess with that of the wildfire after all. Within hearing that, Inko saying, thank you, Lord King. Thank you so much. I appreciate this kindness. As Inko bows profusely over and over again. Within King couldn't help but basically, snicker a bit. Within hearing that saying, Lord King, did you? I think you've misheard some things, Inko, was it? Now then, could you explain about things that you, put in order? Within, Inko saying, yes, sir. As she explains each and every one of King's letters, reports, and also extra bounty posters as well, all neatly sorted and alphabetized. Within hearing all this, King couldn't help but be impressed on that of Inko's proficiency, thinking she would make a great secretary actually. Through that of a few years of Inko being a beast pirate and being the secretary of King, their relationship went from that of, co-workers, a subordinate, and her superior, to surprisingly more romantic way, as King has no regrets and will always be loyal to the Beast Pirates. But when around Inko, though, he can't help but feel at least a little bit more open, actually, especially to her, bringing up some things that he feels a little bit frustrated with the Beast Pirates, even though he would never say this outright and never say it in more malicious ways, just more as an annoyance, actually. Like having to deal with Kato's drinking all the time and basically partying as well and spending time with Black Maria more often than ever. With Inko just listening and trying to disclose everything, but seeing that he says all this, he doesn't really see it more malicious or angry, but more as just worried for Kato, as this isn't a right-hand man and first mate looking out for his captain after all. No, it's more as a friend just trying to look out for that one person that gave him a reason to live more often than anything. I think being an Anko and not having a true worthy opponent outside of Whitebeard or even that of Big Maw is basically just keeping him narrow-minded and lazy, as he can't blame him. His devil fruit alongside his, Oni physiology basically says it outright on how powerful he is. But still, King just can't help but feel worried for him after all. With Inko making a comment saying that King is way too kind, as he already is, and loyal too. But then, King couldn't help but scoff, saying if she knew on how many people he's killed, then she would say otherwise. But then, she's saying that she's aware, but she doesn't judge him for it at all, as they stay in silence, just enjoying each other's company. Another year has passed. However, Inko seems a little bit more different, a lot more sluggish, and not, as active as she usually is. When King noticing this, as he's become a lot more, familiar and basically comfortable around Inko, as he's even started to wear his mask a lot less more than when he's around her. When King noticing this, asking Inko if she's okay, and that she just needs to relax. Within, she's saying that she can keep on going as she's basically ordering that of files. Before then, she feels like she's about to throw up. Before then, King noticing this, is then going to the nearby edge of his office and basically puking. As for some reason, King can help but see that of rainbows, as it just makes him feel confused. Even to the point that he started rubbing his eyes, within Inko stopped vomiting. But then saying, Inko, are you really sure that you're okay? Within, she's saying, it's, you see. Within, she feeling quite nervous and blushing, saying, I'm pregnant. Within, King couldn't help but feel completely, utterly shocked, and for some weird reason, couldn't help but blush his ass off, as he's been with women before, tons of women before, and yet he has no idea reason why he's blushing like crazy, as she has been pregnant for a few months now, and the only person that she's been with is King. So, but then King, realizing this, saying, I see. Before then, as a man of loyalty and honor, he can help but say, I'll take responsibility. But then she's saying, what? I'll take responsibility if you'll have me, Inko. Within, she can help but say, Lord King, just call me King. It would feel weird if my wife started calling me by her lord after all. With then hearing that, Inko couldn't help but hug that of King, even though he's basically way taller and massive. It's kind of used to it, to even that of clinging onto that of her, bringing her close to him. As the two share that of a kiss, especially given the size. Before then, somebody busts through that of the door saying, hey, bondage freak, how's it going? As this person being a wide-rounded but somewhat muscular man with that of a blonde ponytail braid and yellow sunglasses. As this being Queen. Within, noticing that of King and Inko kissing before King gives him a look, as Inko feeling quite nervous while they're still lips together, saying, oh, getting hot and bothered and busy, I see. Don't let me bother you. We can talk later, bondage boy. Have some fun. As he closes the door, before it then, King couldn't help but sigh, saying, there are times I really do wish I could kill him. King, within, Inko feeling quite, flustered at that, hearing that. Many months have now gone by, with even King basically telling that of Kaido about his situation with Inko, as he even married her, gave her wedding ring and everything. However, they made the proceedings a little bit more quiet, not wanting to make things crazy. Hell, especially Kaido would turn into one huge ass party for his right-hand man, which exactly what he did afterwards when finding out Inko was pregnant with his kid. With then, Kaido can help but say, so gonna try and spread your race out a little bit more? Within, soon, King not wearing his mask, talking to Kaido man to man, saying, if I wanted to do that, I would have basically laid with half of our entire crew and every other female pirate captain under our command. Within, Kaido laughing, saying, haha, that is so true. Seeing this Wano woman as the one who basically tamed the wildfire, I guess it shows that she's more than meets the eye. So, when the brat is born, and when he's ready, you're gonna have him join the crew. Within, basically looking down, as King saying, Kaido, I've never asked you for much or anything. I'm always willing to follow your orders to the day I die, and I promised you that I would make you the king of the pirates. That hasn't changed. Within, hearing this, Kaido couldn't help but hear the man being sentimental, saying, oh, I think I know where this is going. Within, soon, King Kenobo looked down, saying, I really can't hide anything from you, can I? Before then saying, I want Inko to be removed from the beast pirates, alongside Izuku. Within, hearing all that, Kaido saying, you're asking quite a bit. You're basically telling me to kick out a member of my own crew. I got no problem doing that if somebody basically pisses me the hell off or deserves it. But she's your wife. And in return, she kind of makes her that of my sworn sister. You know that, right? So what the hell is this about, King? Within, King couldn't help but clench his fist, saying, Inko's a kind-hearted woman. She's not fit to be a pirate. It's that very reason I took her as my secretary. She would be a liability or basically forced into situations that she didn't want to. Not to mention, our child. They'll be born with that of Lunarian blood. My blood. they'll have a target on their head as soon as he's born. But then Kaido saying, all the more reason for them to stay here, dumbass. Before then looking up saying, there's one thing I want to do for my child. As much as I want to make them sure that they're safe, that the world government doesn't sink their teeth and their claws into him. But as a father, I want them to follow their own path. Not follow my path alone, but just whatever path they choose for themselves. But then, hearing this, Kaido's saying, don't tell me this is because of Yamato. But then saying, that damn girl is stubborn as hell, thinking that she's Kazuki Oden and all. Right? Are you trying to say something, King? Saying, but then, King looking down saying, trust me, the way that you are with Yamato is strict, and she may try and act like a man, but she's your blood and she's your daughter. I'm not saying anything about that of your parenting style, Kaido. All I'm saying is, I want them to follow their path and what they wish for themselves. Nothing more, nothing less. So I'm asking you, please, remove Inko from the Beast Pirates and allow our child to live freely, to have their own decision. If he wants to come to that of the Beast Pirates, well, then I'll bring him back. But Inko, I want her to be free from the pirate life for good. Within hearing that, King Kaido couldn't help but sigh, saying, God, you've never asked me for goddamn shit, and this is the first thing you ask? Ugh, fine, I'll do it. But you owe me one. At least let me give that of your kid and wife a send-off party after all. But then hearing that, King couldn't help but smirk, saying, fair enough. Showing that their friendship still stands the test of time. Kaido is quite the drunk nowadays. Another few months, and Inko gives birth to a healthy baby, half human, half Lunarian boy by the name of Izuku. However, King didn't have a last name outside of his original name being Abel, but decided to make a last name for him, and for Inko as well, being Midoriya. Within, Inko wanted to ask if it was okay to put D in as a middle name for Izuku. But then, hearing that, King could be shocked and surprised when hearing that. But then Inko saying that her grandfather had D in that of his name, and she wanted to honor him by giving that same D in that of Izuku's name. Within, for some reason, King couldn't help but have that of a smirk, but also an eyes of anticipation, saying, yeah, Midoriya D. Izuku. That fits. Has a nice ring to it. And thus, the birth of one of the world's greatest heroes, who would change the world for better or for worse, as some would say. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and hope you guys like this. Like I said, this is a quick one. Just the origins of Izuku's family, parents and everything. And yeah, Izuku is half Lunarian. I've actually grown a respect for that of Lunarians after all. Like King, to be honest. So yeah, Izuku is the son of King. As for having D in his middle name, yeah, honestly, mainly for two things. D for Deku, and also I just like Izuku having the will of D as well. It kind of fits Izuku, to be honest. And the next couple of chapters will be basically going on Izuku's, childhood years after all. And you're going to be shocked and surprised on who he's going to be growing up with. So, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep to date my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, my Cash App, and also my PayPal. All linked in the description below if I'm not too lazy to do so. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, hope you all take care.